dorm. When I entered the institute, I got a place in a dormitory. I was incredibly happy about it. Many of my classmates lived in rented apartments, which, in my opinion, does not convey the full atmosphere of student years. I lived in a sectional dormitory. For those who do not know, I will explain. On the landing there is one door, and behind it is a corridor, then 8 rooms in a circle, then a kitchen. In the center are toilets and sinks. Previously, there were showers, but due to the appearance of either fungus or mold, they were moved to the basement. I lived in a room for 2, if memory serves. This is 12 square meters. Everything is as usual. Those who have lived know, 2 beds on either side of the wall, a desk between them. Behind my bed there was a closet closer to the front door, and in front of the door itself there was a nightstand. Behind this very nightstand we kept the very same bag with garbage bags. It all started in a banal way. When I fell asleep, I often heard the rustling of these same bags, but somehow I attributed it all to extraneous noises. That I was tired, dozed off. I heard it, then, when the same noise was heard by a neighbor, and she, by the way, was many times more impressionable than me. She quickly darted to the light switch, but all the bags were in place. We decided that it was mice. I will refute everyone at once. There was always sanitary treatment, and we definitely did not have mice, but at that moment it did not matter. It was calmer this way. Looking ahead, I will say, I am familiar with sleep paralysis, how it occurs, as a result of which, why and how it proceeds, I know theoretically, and I can assure you that this was definitely not it. When it all happened, I was fast asleep and had my 10th dream, when I dreamed that someone was strangling me, and the most interesting thing is that I could clearly see and distinguish this someone. Unfortunately, at the moment I cannot describe what I saw. My memory has carefully erased this moment, but I remember exactly what I saw, and it was wildly scary just from the look of the strangler, and everything would be fine, if at one moment I had not realized that this was not a dream. I really could not breathe. Something or someone was squeezing my neck with incredible force. When I realized that I was not sleeping and that this horror was continuing with me in reality, the first thing I tried to do was to throw off the attacker. But my efforts were not crowned with success. This something clung to me even more tightly. Then I began to call my neighbor, but her voice was treacherously hoarse and escaped in a half-whisper. I don't know what scared me, either my persistence or the neighbor's movements, but I was able to breathe normally. At that moment there was no horror, no fear, only a feeling of liberation. The next morning there were 2 bruises on my neck. You couldn't tell the fingers apart if it had been a hand. Just bruises, like from contusions. I was scared after everything. When I realized that everything that had happened was real, what it was and why, I am still at a loss. I still didn't leave my dorm. I lived there until the end of my studies and nothing else happened, so I never found an explanation for this incident. Someone said that it was a brownie, but I don't believe that version. If it was him, then he is very strange, and I will never forget the feeling of horror when I saw him.